Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, everybody. My name is Bridget Brown Jackson. And listen, we are in here today with Breakfast Bites with Bridget. Listen, I'm so very excited to talk about this person because he's near and dear to me. If you do not know who I am, and this might be your first time listening, listen, let me tell you who Bridget is. My name again is Bridget Brown Jackson. I am a behavioral wealth strategist. I love talking about all things behavior, as well as sharing tidbits about leadership. And so, my behavioral wealth strategy is to show you your leadership empowerment. Hey, if I do my work, you can do your work. So, listen, we're going to go in today into this. We're going to get into this. We're going to get into this, and we're going to move on out of your way. So, again, if this is your first time watching, I come in 5 to now 9 minutes. 9 minutes was my longest one. Generally have tried to stay about 5 minutes, but most of them have been lasting about 7 minutes, coming in live to you to share with you Black history facts about leaders who helped shape and pave our way. All right. And so we're going to get into it today. We're going to go ahead and get right on into it. I am the founder of Exponential Edge Adventures, where we help leaders develop their talent, keep their profits because they're developing their talent, and to be more productive. Okay. And so today we're going to talk about, in our Leadership Legends series, Elijah McCoy. Now, why did I pick Elijah McCoy? Hey, y'all, you know, I'm from the Motor City. Listen, I'm repping my city this morning. If there's any Detroiters out there, say, hey, 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 the D is in the house. Listen, so Elijah McCoy is literally famous in Michigan, and he's just famous, period. If you've never heard of him, that's a shame. The reason why he's near and dear to my heart, I shared with you all that I used to be an educator. I spent 10 years in the classroom, and then the rest of my career, I was in leadership, leading high performing teams in school organizations, right? And so I'm very, very, again, excited to present to some and introduce to others Elijah McCoy. Now, Elijah McCoy was born in Canada, and they say between 1843, 1844. That's kind of a little unknown, but we do know that he passed away right here in Michigan in 1949. All right. You might have heard the term the real McCoy. If you ever heard the term real McCoy, it's referring to the fact that there was some imposturing engine lubricating oil devices that were designed for the railroad, but people didn't want it. So when they knew that they wanted the one that Elijah McCoy invented, they would say, we want the real McCoy. Now, what's so, again, great about him is because his invention literally touched almost every railroad in the United States. Now, again, I need y'all to look at the year that he was born. I even need you to look at the year that he passed away. We know what was going on in the scene in the African American community. And despite that, despite racial discrimination, despite adversity, he persevered, and he became one of the most prolific inventors of his time, having almost 50 or more than 50 patents, right? All just genius, and owning the patents. So, again, if you all understand the backdrop and the context of this, you would understand his personal leadership that has helped develop leadership all throughout the United States. So let me give you a little bit more background about him. He was a mechanical genius. He absolutely was. Again, he was most famous for his invention that he patented in 1872. I'm going to say that one more again for the people in the back of the room that might not understand. In 1872, he had a patent. It was for the automatic lubricator. And that's where people would say, we want the real McCoy. All right. And again, I'm so very excited that he lived right here in Michigan. Actually, where he is buried is maybe 15 minutes from my home. I love it. In addition to that, the patent office here in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan, is named after him. Listen, if you don't know about the real McCoy, now you do. Let's talk about his leadership, though. So, I've been talking about emotional intelligence. And so we got to understand always, what is your emotional intelligence? How are you aware? How are you regulating? How are you motivating? How are you showing empathy to your fellow man? And most of all, how are you effectively communicating? How are you doing that? And so be aware of your emotional intelligence. He did. He focused on his goals and he used his emotions to fuel his passion for action and growth. He didn't look at the times and what was going on and what was happening to him and the opposition. He looked to step up in his leadership. So let's talk about what that leadership looked like. He collaborated. He worked with teams. He couldn't have done and had the success by himself. There was other people that helped do that. And so sharing those ideas and working together with his fellow inventors and engineers to bring these innovations that we now can look at in a historical context to life, right? Another leadership quality was being adaptable and flexible. Throughout his life, he had to be adaptable. Think about again, in the time that he was living, he had to deal with changing circumstances and challenges, but he was flexible and moved past them and still did his over 50 patents. And then he definitely had grit. Come on, somebody talk about grit. There was perseverance in his blood. Despite facing numerous obstacles and setbacks during his career, he never gave up on his dreams. He continued to press forward and he persevered through that adversity and the challenges and continued to pursue his goals with an unwavering determination. So, as we conclude, what can we learn from Elijah McCoy? Here, let's go. 3 things. Here you go. Number 1, utilize your team. Now, if you're a leader and you have a full team, make sure you're utilizing your team. But you might be saying, well, Bridget, I don't have a team right now. That's okay. You might not even be in a quote unquote leadership role, but you are a leader and there are people that you can galvanize to be on your team. Utilize them. So, what leaders can learn from McCoy is fostering that culture of collaboration. Stop trying to do stuff by yourself. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go further, then you're going to go with the team. I paraphrase that, okay? But that's the African proverb. Listen, use your team and your community. Use your team and your community. Be encouraged and have open communication and dialogue and allow every team member, listen, to have a voice. That's how you can achieve greater success. Number 2, flexible. You got to be flexible. You got to be flexible, but still be focused. All right. And so I have a model that I use in my professional development that my company, Exponential Edge Adventures, you see it right there at the bottom by Elijah's picture. Exponential Edge Adventures comes into organizations and we use this aware model. And what we do is we want people to be flexible, but also at the same time focusing. So you got to stay flexible and be resilient in the face of adversity, but you must definitely be aware. And so what are those things that you need to be aware so that you can sharpen the efficacy of your group? All right, we're almost at 9 minutes. Let's go. The last one is show grit. Number 3, to show grit. Leaders can draw from McCoy's perseverance by cultivating grit and resilience in themselves, because sometimes stuff is going to go wrong, but I need you just to stay there, because then within an organization, you're going to have the leader, the team, the culture, and the results. Those are the 4 impacts that you need to have a highly successful organization, and you must do it. He developed over 50 patents and he continued to do it. I just want to say this really quick for somebody that's listening. Show grit, show grit. As I am recording this, as this is being recorded, it's been 5 months since my son was killed. 26 years old. Wasn't expecting it. Definitely wasn't expecting it. Live one day and not the next day. Now, my business has to go on. So I have to show grit right now. So in the midst of going through, because leaders, we go through. We're about to do a series with a group of friends of mine. We're going to do a series on this. So stay tuned. But in the face of everything that you're going through, have grit. In the face of everything that you are going through, have grit. All right. Okay. So I'm out. My name is Bridget Brown Jackson. I am a behavior wealth strategist. I'm the bar over my face. I'm a behavior wealth strategist, and I love talking all things behavior to help you discover the wealth in your behavior. All right. I'll see you on tomorrow.